All right, in 3, 2, 1.
This is the podcast.
Are you telling me that you built a time machine out of a podcast?
I have come here to chew bubblegum and
Podcast.
and I'm all out of bubblegum.
Hey everyone, welcome to Get to the
welcome to the podcast, guys.
What
It's really
the
good.
hell? Always.
I've done that joke like three
I know.
times in
3
50
times.
some
It's
odd
getting old.
episodes.
So anywho,
I could smell that coming.
What?
welcome everyone and welcome to Get to the Podcast. That's Get to the Podcast with the number 2. My name is Tiago D'Souza.
I'm Nick Gambino.
And I'm Neil Carson.
And the winner of this year's Oscar Awards is Tiago.
You always try to do this like little thing to set up what
Thank
the
you.
episode's about.
Thank
like
you.
it?
I would like to thank everybody in the crowd that right now is cheering.
Yeah. So you're always doing these setups because it's sort of you throw out these little things to indicate what the episode's about.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like you
about
should
me.
just we should talk about it beforehand so you know exactly what. No. Okay.
No.
It's all about the implication.
It's all about me.
It's all about
It's all
the
about me.
implication.
Well, we're talking about the Oscars
We're
today.
talking about the Oscars.
Let's talk about the Oscars.
About Oscar. That
Oscar.
movie with Sylvester Stallone.
I actually saw that in theater.
That movie.
Did
is-
you?
8 times? Yeah, I did see it in theaters. I absolutely did.
I love that film.
91, I think it is. 92, 91, 92, 91, I want to say.
Man.
I
Yeah.
love that film.
That was a really good film.
Yeah.
It was Sylvester Stallone, one
I
of his
enjoyed it, yeah.
rare comedies, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
that was
him
good.
being a gang, like,
Yeah, he's a gangster, but it's
he's
all
trying to
comedy.
go
like very
legal.
lighthearted,
He's trying
yeah.
to change. He's trying to be, like, change his appearance, not
Yeah.
be, like, a criminal anymore. He's
was
trying
like
to...
a
And
light
his daughter,
Dick Tracy or something.
Oscar is the name of her daughter's new boo or fiance or whatever.
Yeah.
That's who Oscar refers to. You don't see him until like the end of the movie.
But Daddy!
Yeah,
It's like that Art Deco.
yeah, it's like he's
Style,
very Art
yeah.
Deco style.
Yeah.
And the pinstripe suits. I'm sorry, let me try that without dyslexia. Pinstriped suits.
Striped?
Wow.
Striped.
Oh, I thought you said striped.
I did. That's what I said. I said pinstriped soups. That's what I said.
Which will be on Get to the Soup.
I've got a great education. Okay.
Anywho,
we're talking about the Oscars, right? Let's talk about. Well, first off, do the Oscars even matter anymore?
I think they
A
do.
lot of people. I think there's so many films that come out now that a lot of just general film watchers, like moviegoers or whatever, will watch the Oscars to know what they should be.
I think
watching.
I think it actually calls attention to a lot of good films. And the Oscars has always been about more indie type films. They're not like, oh, let's give all the awards, all the Marvel films and all the big blockbusters and the Star Wars films. No, think about it.
It's not, if you're either like super low budget and unknown, or you're like Titanic. Because if you're Titanic,
They do-
you're gonna win. You're gonna sweep. The
No,
Oscars.
not always though. That's the thing about it. Like, yes, if you're Titanic, you're
went, you-
Lord of the Rings, Return of the King.
Yeah.
You
But
absolutely.
Return of
do-
the King, I felt like wasn't. That was such a weird thing to me because I was like, I know they're gonna win all these Oscars, but they shouldn't because I didn't think it was the best of
Return
the
of the
three
King-
films.
You
I
didn't-
thought
I thought
said-
you liked Return of the King.
No, I like Return of the King a lot.
No, I thought
but
you
I
liked it as
love
the best.
Fellowship of the Ring. To me, that's
like-
the film
really?
that should have won.
Wow, that's interesting. That's
I think that's a better.
Is that only
film.
because it's the first one that hooked you? Because Return of the King is a far superior. Like,
Yeah,
I
it's-
consider them all one movie. Let's be honest. I think
No,
they're all one movie.
I don't.
Well,
Two
okay.
Towers to me is
Well-
like, if I'm going to be overly critical, but I think Two Towers is the weakest link. But,
Yeah. Okay. Well, this is a bit off subject, anyways.
It is, but I'm just saying, like, those. I'm not saying that like any big budget film or a film that makes over $1 billion or $2 billion in a year or something is going to get sweep the Oscars. I'm
Right.
saying like it has to be like a good film,
Yeah.
but it can also be high fantasy, high special effects.
That's rare,
Big
though.
budget.
That is more rare. Like, okay, let's look at all the Best Picture nominees for this year.
Are you talking about special? Okay, so
The only big ones, quote unquote, that are nominated are Dunkirk and The Shape of Water. Is there
Post.
any other? The
I don't
Post is
think
not a
that
big
I'm-
film. No, it's,
Yeah,
it's
actually
pretty.
it
It's
wasn't, yeah.
Was
Spielberg, but
Dunkirk
it's
like a high budget?
or the
I mean, it
Darkest
was huge
Hour.
war. It's a big war film.
Did you say
There's a
Darkest
lot
Hour?
in-
Darkest Hour.
Yeah, I don't know that I'd call the Darkest Hour like a big, huge. Like that's almost still in the realm.
It's like
of
a
the
drama.
Post.
Yeah, it's like
I didn't even know about
Even-
the
yeah.
film Call Me by Your Name.
Call Me by Your Name with Timothy Chalamet
Yeah.
or whatever, and Armie Hammer.
Correct.
It's a gay
I had to
coming of
research
age
that.
story, kind of.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, those always good. I mean, Moonlight, Call Me by Your Name.
Yeah.
They just say, I don't know. I didn't see it. My sister saw it. She said it was good. She wasn't blown away though.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. Okay, all
I
I'm
don't- you
saying
know,
is but that's a movie you haven't heard of, and three billboards outside of Ebbing,
There's
Missouri.
so
you
many
probably hadn't
movies
heard
I
of that.
haven't
I
heard
did
of.
hear
No,
about
this
Every
is what I'm
time I go
saying.
on Netflix, there's movies that are like just added that just came out that I've never heard
But
of.
Neil,
I'm like,
this is what I'm saying. It's calling attention to these indie films. These films are indie. Okay,
Yeah.
Call Me by Your Name is an indie film. Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri is an indie film, which otherwise would not. It doesn't have a marketing budget to be able to call attention to it. The Oscars do that, which is it's good for that reason. But I do
how
feel
does
like
that
the Oscars
work too? So if it's a film that's technically unheard of,
right.
so it's kind of hard to even put it as a nomination. So how does that work?
They
You know,
campaign for it,
so-
and that's where it gets
Yeah,
shady.
That's
the whole
sounds
Oscar
shady.
nominations
So you-
are campaigned
So
for.
you're pushing.
Yeah.
But I feel like
You gotta
I
pour
don't know.
yourself
In many
out.
ways, like awards in general, like I like the idea of being acknowledged and like validated for your work and your art and all
Yeah.
that stuff. But like
But
at the
it's
same
not.
time, I'm like,
It's weird.
I used to think like anything that was like a people's choice was superior to any of these like organized groups that like choose. Even though the Oscars are supposed to be a collection of your peers, when I found out that like, you know, they
Fuck the people. The people
they basically-
gave the Twilight movies millions upon millions of dollars. The
No,
people
I
can
know.
eat a
That's what
dick.
I'm saying. Like, but even those are like you could easily be swayed with like commercials and like internet spots and ads and all that kind of crap could sway the general public into thinking one film is
Yeah.
better than
Genius
another.
is
without-
individual. It's not group. Groups are generally.
I mean,
The
art
thing
is
we have in common
subjective.
is
Art is
stupidity.
subjective.
Yeah.
You can't. You could take a guy who's like this movie's total.
So let's
whatever.
name out
Yeah,
the
is
list.
the Oscars are political.
They are.
That's the best
They
word
are.
for
That's,
it.
That's where it gets
And
like.
for the longest time, I wanted to like go, oh yeah, but it's fine. I still enjoy the Oscars, and I do enjoy watching. I watch the Oscars every
I
year.
enjoy
I
it.
do. I do.
I don't know.
But-
Something's changed even with like Oscar winners now. Like, unless somebody is so new to Hollywood, like a lot of these veterans go up there and they're like, "Yeah, thanks."
You ever
Thanks
seen
for this."
Denzel
Like,
at a
I know
goddamn
this is a
award show?
scam. Like, but thanks.
Denzel is nominated like every year. You ever see him at an award show?
He was at like the Golden Globes
Yeah,
or something.
yeah, he was at the Golden Globes.
Well,
he
for Fences, I think he was really pushing for that. Like,
Yeah.
he really.
well, because Viola Davis, but he wanted her to win. Like he wasn't looking at himself winning at all.
No,
Yeah,
I know,
he
but
just won.
didn't he? I mean,
He
he was like
directed it.
part of it. Yeah, he directed it. So it was like his baby. It
Yep.
was like his thing.
So, no, but if you look at his face,
Yeah.
look at his face at any of these award shows, especially when he's nominated and it zooms in on him. Like he might as well be wearing a sign that says, like, "Get the fuck out of my face! I don't fucking want to be here. This is a goddamn pony show, and I don't give a shit."
Yeah.
Like you could tell he's just like, it's not about this. And I've seen a lot of interviews with him and
You know, it's
round
crazy.
tables, and he's just sort of like, I'm not. We're taking this way too seriously, guys. We're making movies.
Yeah.
Like we're fucking
The
blessed.
thing that upsets me is that I had never seen Malcolm X, Spike Lee's Malcolm X, and then I finally watched it like, I don't know, 15 years after it came out or
yeah,
however
a couple
many
years ago
years.
you watched it.
Yeah.
I mean, it was more than it was like 7 years ago. I watched
okay.
it, but like I watched and I was like floored, and I was like, and in my mind I was like, oh, of course Denzel got nominated or like won this
didn't win,
Oscar
yeah.
for this
Yeah.
film, and like he got
Nominated.
nominated, but he didn't win. I was like, how the hell did he not win
Yeah.
for this movie? Like this, he was like incredible in this.
Yeah, he
movie.
didn't win like a leading actor
He didn't
Oscar
win
until
anything.
Training Day.
I know,
Yeah.
and it's so weird. It was like they kind of like knew he should have won, but they kept delaying, and then Training Day, I thought he was good.
Yeah. You know, he had already
I
won
don't
an
know.
Oscar by the time Malcolm X came. He won for Glory. back
He
in
did
the
win
He did,
day.
yeah.
Glory,
He
yeah,
did. It
you're
was
right.
supporting actor Oscar.
Yeah.
But
I agree with him, but I also see I think there's a need for the Oscars
I think in terms of calling
because
attention, yes.
because I think we all should, in what we do, I think it's great to be recognized, and I
Yeah.
think it re-inspires, just refreshes us to go do another project.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good thing, and I think it's great that we're seeing all these new independent films in there and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
I do agree with him in the fact that sometimes it's so, because the last 2 years
Yeah.
it got stuck into that. It's very political. It was
It
very,
is.
which
It
was
is outside factors affecting whether or not
Yeah.
how we perceive the art. And I'm like, is that right? Like, we try not to get very political on this podcast or even on our website, Get to the
Yeah.
Movies. We're not into getting into the other shit. You know what I mean? We're trying to be an escapist outlet, an area you can go to and just forget about the troubles and the toils and the worries.
You're not
going
gonna
to
come here and hear who
appreciate
you
the
should vote
art.
for.
Yeah, we like to appreciate just the art of the film itself. We're not trying to talk about all this other stuff that's going on. But it's weird how, like, we're supposed to sit there and go, this is strictly about the art, but there's other factors coming in. All right.
there's
now,
always other
this
factors
is not.
happening.
We are not taking sides on this whatsoever. But you have the James Franco thing that went on, where he was accused of sexual misconduct or exploit. They call it sexual exploitation, and all the stuff that went on there. You can go read about it if you want. But he then, like the Disaster Artist, was being nominated for all these things in all these different awards shows, and then this thing comes up in between the Golden Globes
It
and
was
the Oscars.
literally minutes after he won.
Yeah, it was the next morning. It was the
Was
same
it the
night.
next morning? No, it was the same night.
Same
that-
night people were
what's her
tweeting
name?
Ali Sheedy.
Ali Sheedy.
Yeah, so but
Anyway, we don't have to get
I don't
want to
get into exactly. I want to get into it, but then the Oscar nominations come out, and
I
there's
don't want
not
to get
a-
into it, but
No, I don't want to get into
No,
what
what-
happened. What I'm trying to say is, but then the Oscar nominations come out, and
Nowhere to
there's
be
one
found.
nomination for Disaster Artist. It's for screenplay. James Franco's name's not anywhere connected to any of this. There's no Best Picture nomination. There's no Best Actor. There's no
It's scary.
anything. And I'm just sort of
In
like,
many ways, it's a scary thing that these organizations and everything can be significantly influenced when there's no due process. There's
Right.
no like.
right.
There's no investigation done. It's like somebody verbally says something,
Yeah.
and then everyone just believes it. Like,
Right.
Oh yeah.
And of course, it's sort of
it
like-
could be true, but it may not.
And
be
I get
true.
it. It's been asked backwards for so long where a victim is not believed. So it's sort of like, hey, let's go in the opposite way. But I'm like, there's got to be a happy middle ground. But either way, again, I don't want to get into that part of it. I'm just saying, is it interesting that there's outside factors? So we're being told that this is about the art and just looking at the art of the thing. But then you're like, but if there's an outside factor that influences it, then that person, I'm like, then what if that was the greatest film of the year, hands down? Oh my fucking God, nothing comes even close, and it doesn't get a nomination. Then we're supposed to say, oh, but these other ones are better than that.
I would have loved to see.
I just feel
that
like
movie
it's
get
something else at
nominated.
that point.
For Tommy Wiseau.
So, yeah, no,
for
it's
Tommy
not even-
Wiseau. I
You
want
might
to
have-
see Tommy Wiseau come on stage and a film made about his awful film wins Best Picture. Like that would have just been the cream of the crop. But
That
now
would
it's
have
never
been.
going to happen.
I know.
it is about the
all
arts,
never
but
gonna-
I think that's the sad thing. Is that everything gets influenced. It doesn't matter if you put yourself out there. Something's gonna happen.
And that's just
Something's
how it
gonna-
is, I guess.
Bad or good, something's gonna
But
happen.
I can't look at it as a pure
it's
art.
but it's
art,
become
assessment
worse.
I
anymore.
know it's not a
It's
pure art.
become worse.
Yes.
It, like 10 years ago, it wasn't this bad. Now it's like
It's become-
with
yeah,
Twitter
it's
and
horrible.
Facebook and social
There's
media,
so much-
the public having a voice, which is basically a mob, as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, yeah,
It's
no,
very
fuck-
much a mob
None
mentality.
of us should have a fucking voice unless we've earned it. Let's be honest here. It's unfortunate that we've given everybody a platform, and the majority of people are not.
Yeah, I
cream
could
of the
be
crop
living,
people.
living in a basement somewhere, and never go outside, and then somehow influence
You used to have to
millions
earn-
of people's lives by
Yes.
tweeting things.
Yeah.
You used to have
It's,
to
like,
earn
scary.
that platform through hard fucking work and
No, not
and
anymore.
talent and skill.
Now you just buy Twitter followers.
Now you
and
have-
then
yeah.
start hashtag revolutions.
Fuck this noise. Anyways, but the
Gonna
thing
start a
is,
revolution?
it's hard to look at it as a pure thing.
Yeah.
And I get it. Like, I mean, it's good that the Oscars, at least in each category, the way in which they're nominated and then picked as winners is it's a vote amongst people in the Academy that are in that field. So all the cinematography awards are
But that's
voted for
assuming
by
that these people
cinematographers.
even watch the films. They're not required.
Yeah, they are.
They are
They're
required,
sent to
yeah.
screeners, and they're required to watch it.
Yeah.
And then they have to then vote, and they have to also say why they're picking that.
You literally have to take notes and
Yes.
yeah.
It
crazy.
is treated seriously, but at the same time,
It's like 1,000 people.
no, it's not that many.
there's like 6,000 to 7,000 people in the Academy.
Yeah.
And then there's the
Separated
the
to
people,
categories
Their
and-
peers are the ones that vote for them in that category. So directors are voted for by directors in the Academy. Writers
Okay.
or screenplays are voted by writers.
I feel like most people
Which
don't
is
know
good.
that.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people know the process, but that is good. So that's like okay, I understand that. In fact, it makes more sense to the Golden Globes because the Golden Globes are just given to you by the Hollywood. What is the Hollywood and Foreign Press Association? It's like not even really. It's just a random fucking group that gives you awards.
Yeah.
The SAG Awards are done by anyways. The People's Choice Awards, they're fine. But all I'm saying is it's weird because it's sort of like it's influenced by other shit, and we're not just looking at the art. Like, okay, when I watch like America's Got Talent or fucking American Idol, The Voice, I don't want to know your backstory. I want to know if you could fucking sing, dance, and dance around like a fucking monkey.
No. The struggle
I gotta know about the
influences
struggle.
Yeah.
how you perceive the quality of their voice.
Yes. Yeah. I was raised in a wheelchair. You know what I mean?
Dude, everybody
by-
likes like a
abusive
overcoming story. You know what I mean? Like when you hear like about some actress or actor like Hilary Swank talking about how she was like living in a minivan.
Yeah, that's
for,
what you
like,
wanna hear.
months before she made it big. Like that's like wow.
People
like,
want to be inspired, and I do understand that, but at the same time, it's packaged these days. It's very overdone, and they package it in this nice little fucking bow, and they try to feed it to me. I'm like, I don't want to know that. I want to
the
know.
masters of
does
public
the art,
relations, man.
Yeah, I want to look at a painting on a wall, not know anything about it. It's like, does it influence me? Does it communicate? Does it, is it impactful? I don't care who painted it. Is it a guy? Is it a girl? Is it a this? Is it that?
It's hard to have that experience these days because
I know.
everybody's trying to sell something to you.
No, I mean, you mock me because I haven't watched Star Wars yet, but that's the whole thing.
I
It's
do understand.
You should watch Star Wars.
I know
Just
you
so we
should
can-
do Star
don't get
Wars.
me wrong, I'm gonna see it.
I'll
I'm gonna
follow
see it,
it.
but I just didn't want to get influenced. I don't want my mind to be influenced by things that are being talked about, people not liking or liking. But that's what happens in the Oscars, though. I respect it's needed because you should celebrate the arts. I think that is something is it influence? Yes.
Yeah.
When I watch it, I do separate that. I just enjoy it. It's like when I watch a film, is that I need to separate all the attention that it got, whether it's bad or good, and I need to watch the film. I need to enjoy the film. Because when I sit on my couch and I want to watch a film, I go to the theater, I want to enjoy what I'm investing my time into.
Yeah.
And I think when I watch the Oscars, like I've seen a couple of the films that are being nominated for certain things, and I want to see if it's accurate, and I want to enjoy them winning an award because they did a good job.
Right.
And I don't want to be influenced by, oh, this guy did this person did that, and stuff like that. It sucks that the arts is always being tormented by people's opinion.
Yeah. True.
So-
It's true. But I do agree with it bringing attention to films you otherwise wouldn't. Let's just look at last year. Moonlight wouldn't have been on very few
No.
people's radars if it wasn't for the Oscars.
One of
my favorite
I would
films
be
is the-
surprised to like look at the stats and find out how many of those films that are nominated, like if they're like the amount of people that are renting it, buying or whatever,
Yeah.
if those
So-
sales go up significantly, if they have statistics that show that.
I bet you could look it up. I would say
We
yes.
remember we talked about the
That was
movie.
just a guess on it, but I couldn't even imagine it doesn't. It's a major promotional platform.
like how
Well,
many
remember we
people
talked about
watch
the movie
Oscars
Room
every year?
Remember Room?
Yeah. with
That
Brie
movie.
Larson.
When I saw that film, it wasn't popular at all. It was actually pre-released onto like television prior to going to the theater, because some films come out like that.
Yeah.
They're not that big,
Yeah.
and that's how I saw it. And I thought it was a phenomenal film.
really
And then
good.
it was limited release, and then it went into the theaters, and then people caught wind of it.
yeah.
And it started being on CNN, all these platforms.
Buzz.
The buzz just started getting out. People started talking about, and suddenly it was nominated.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that story.
Yeah.
I love the fact that this movie was like unknown, and when people started seeing it, people drove it to be known, and
Yeah.
people drove it to be nominated. I love that story.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that type of drive.
I think it's really. I mean, this year we also have the first screenplay nomination for a superhero movie, Logan. Logan got a
Yeah.
screenplay nomination, and I'm like, some people are like, it should have gotten nominated in a lot of categories. I'm like, I can't fucking believe that we got a superhero nomination for a screenplay, and that's
Yeah.
the only thing. Like, it
But
was.
see, that's the thing about the Oscars that I don't like. Like when Lord of the Rings was getting nominated, like at the time when Fellowship and Two Towers got nominated, the general consensus from the media and the internets
Oscar
were like,
worthy.
it's never gonna win Best Picture. It's never gonna this. It's never gonna that. It's
Right.
an ensemble fantasy. They never acknowledge those films. And I'm like, that's a huge outpoint to have the top, like award for film and entertainment
Yeah.
and the entire industry
Yeah.
not recognized, like a huge, like science fiction not recognized,
Yeah, it's
fantasy
true. It's
not
true.
really recognized, comedy.
That's true.
To a large degree, they
Yeah.
only really acknowledge
Drama.
horrific dramatic films about horrible things that happen to people.
For a person to win, they must cry on screen.
Yeah.
And like, what
it's
did
true.
Robert Downey Jr. say in Tropic Thunder? What films also?
What's that?
What did Robert Downey Jr. say
Which
in
part?
Tropic Thunder? What are you saying?
What-
Which you don't do.
You never go full retard.
Because the Academy won't recognize you. You have to be like some sort of savant or something.
But that
Autistic
was
for sure.
the greatest
Not retarded.
explanation ever.
Yeah.
And it was like, that is so
Oh,
fucking
it's so
true.
good. He
Did
goes,
you know that movie
chopped
got-
the pants off of chopped the pants off of America, won ping pong contest. No, I'm retarded.
like
Autistic for sure.
the whole what was it, the Little Jack or Simple
Oh,
Jack?
Simple Jack.
Like, didn't Ben Stiller get all this shit from like for using the word
Retard.
retard.
He may have, but that movie is hilarious. I'm like it was just it's all because it's a parody of real life in the way.
Robert Downey Jr. got nominated for that film, and then the film he was nominated at the end of the
I
film
know.
for the
And he was wearing
film about
blackface.
making a film.
And he was wearing
It's so
blackface.
meta.
the entire- See, that's that fine line you gotta fucking
Yeah.
walk. That movie is incredible. That is a
What do you mean, you people?
But that's a perfect example.
do you
That he
mean?
was nominated for an Oscar that year, and it's a
Yep.
comedy. That is not a movie you usually get
That was
nominated
a
for.
weird thing. I didn't actually believe that was because I didn't watch the Oscars that year. So when
Yeah.
people told me he got nominated, I was like, "You mean he got nominated in Tropic Thunder,
Yeah.
like at the
Yeah,
end of the
he got
movie?"
nominated for wearing blackface.
And they're like, "No, in
Yeah.
like
Osiris.
real life, he
Yeah.
got nominated." I'm like, "That's
That was crazy.
Oh, that was great. And then that was the year that Heath Ledger won
Oh,
Yeah.
posthumously for Dark Knight.
Yeah.
He just swept all the award seasons, which he should have. Fucking incredible performance,
Fucking.
and not because he died, but because it was incredible.
Oh no, it
That's
was
such an
Joker.
odd movie to me. Like I watched Dark Knight and it has all these moments that feel rated R, but then they're clearly not.
Yeah, Christopher Nolan does that. Dunkirk even.
I
War
know,
film,
but it's
PG-13.
like I feel like I'm like there's something missing. Like something about this world
blood.
feels too clean.
There's no
like
blood.
It doesn't. It feels fake because there's no blood.
Because
No.
seeing
Right.
the Joker in that
Never puts
film,
blood in it.
he
Yeah.
was
Weird.
a rated R element.
He was.
that
His
was just
performance
cleaned
was so
up
R.
to be PG-13.
And
But
yeah,
it wasn't really
so
clean.
R.
I mean,
if
it
you
was just
really-
literally was just filmed in ways that was like, hey, less is more. Like that's kind of his
Exactly.
philosophy
I
behind
know,
it.
but like.
Like if you
It
think,
takes away from the film.
I don't think it takes away
I
from
watched
him.
that movie like 20 times, and the more I watch it, the more it's like an out point that like this character should be in a rated R film.
Yeah.
He should not like his performance anyway. Heath Ledger specifically, not
Yeah.
the Joker, but like Heath Ledger's performance is a rated R performance.
Yes, but I think
Yeah, but it did a great
I think
job.
he's
He
so
did
good
it
it
right.
elevates the entire film. Like that's
he is.
Yeah.
He like outshines everyone in
Yes.
that film.
Yeah, I
think.
agree that it has a couple flaws here and there on things like that. If you took the Joker out of it, they'd be more flagrant. But I think because he's so good and the fact that he can actually operate in as a rated R kind of a character in a PG-13 setting and still be amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's
that was true.
But anyways, but this year we got Logan was nominated for a screenplay nomination.
let's
The
do by
biggest
categories.
surprise I thought was
Let's go by categories.
Well, I don't want to go through all the. I mean, we can.
We don't have to go through
But
all.
I was
no,
going to say
there's so many.
Christopher
yeah.
Nolan got his first Best Director nomination
for Dunkirk.
This
yeah.
fucking guy has never been nominated for a Best Director Oscar. Like, how is that
mean,
even possible?
because he's no.
It's possible.
Stanley Kubrick?
Stanley
Yeah, Stanley
Kubrick.
Kubrick. Did Stanley Kubrick ever get nominated?
Stanley Kubrick don't need no nomination if he hasn't. I don't know actually.
Uh-huh.
Are we gonna
Let's see.
find out?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm looking it up. Oh, this has happened. You think I was going to let this fucking slide? I bet he's won, and I'm going to fucking shoot myself. God damn it.
I don't know actually.
He is. Yes, he was nominated for Barry Lyndon. I
Oh,
actually
Barry
never
Lyndon,
saw
yeah.
that. And he was nominated for Clockwork Orange. And he was nominated for 2001: A Space Odyssey. And he
Wow.
was nominated for Doctor Strangelove. And he didn't win any of those. He won for Best Visual Effects for 2001: A Space
2001.
Odyssey.
Oh yeah, that's
And he
right.
won for Best. That's it. Oh, and he was also basically he was nominated a shitload of times for Best Picture, Best Director, Best Screenplay.
I don't know
all
what
that, but
other
he only
films were
won.
nominated at the time though, but Clockwork Orange out of all those films, I feel like was
very artistic.
crazy.
Yeah, it's
He
crazy.
should have been. He should have won for that. But I don't know what it was up against. That's the thing. Whenever I hear a film that was nominated from back in the day, like didn't win, I'm like, how did that movie not win? But I don't know what other films were nominated.
They should have an award for a person that's been mostly nominated.
Right.
And the winner for mostly being nominated for every damn thing out there.
Yeah.
Wasn't there somebody? There was definitely someone that had been nominated like 30 times and never won. Well, DiCaprio was like the big joke guy.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like nominated every
recently.
couple
He
years.
won. He just
But there was
recently won,
like
yeah.
a composer or somebody or like some artist that had been nominated like 30
It probably
times.
so. There's probably so
Jesus.
many
And
people
never
that
won.
see
and then
yeah.
won like a few years ago.
Jesus, I don't know.
You know,
the hell
you
his
know,
name was. Anyway.
one of the biggest events in the Oscar for me that I remember, and this was like 6-7 years ago, when they showed this kid who won Best Short Film, and the kid had this like curly. He looked like carrot. Like what is Carrot Red Top? What is
Carrot
his name?
Top.
Carrot Top.
Carrot Red
Yeah, I
Top.
don't know what the
Carrot Top.
Carrot Top?
He looked
Yeah.
like Carrot Top, and he was just so excited. He was running everywhere, and he was running on stage. He didn't know what to say. It was hilarious, but it was
I feel
awesome.
like I remember that.
It was
I missed that.
it was awesome. I
Yeah.
was like, oh my gosh. So
I like that they have
I just had a flashback on it.
they have like the shorts or whatever that get nominated. I think that's pretty.
Yeah, that's cool. And they do even animated because animated features weren't nominated for the longest time until Beauty and the Beast
Yeah.
was nominated for Best Picture.
I love that.
And people were like, this should not be
I
going
love
up
that
against live action
people
shit.
were so upset that an animated Disney film was in the same category as all these quote serious live action films, and
It
the
was-
people were just outraged that an animated film could even like
It doesn't feel like it should
equate
go up
to
to
their
their
performance. So they
I think it shouldn't be in the same category. I do think it should be a separate category, which is why they do it.
But I just
at
love
the same
reaction.
Time, yeah,
the
but
only
there are
reason
some
they
animated
created
films that are
that
better than-
animated category was because of the like negative reaction
yeah.
that artists in Hollywood were
Yeah.
like,
Well, it's
this
hard-
is outrageous.
It's hard to put them up against each other because they are so they're executed in completely different fashions. They're almost
Oh,
a different.
well,
they're a different
as we know
medium.
from interviewing what's his name, it was like
Bradley
a
Pierce,
2.5 year process or
Yeah.
something, recording like
Yeah.
the handful of lines
Yeah.
that he has in that film. I'm
Crazy,
like,
right?
But see, that's
crazy.
the thing. Like, it should be nominated, or should they should have an opportunity because I mean, animated films are. I mean,
So
it takes
much
a
work. Yeah.
long time to work on. It's just crazy, and even like with Beauty and the Beast, for all they did in it. I mean, being a special effects editor, like rendering times, just
Yeah.
thinking about those, how
yeah.
long it takes to render and how much stuff goes into it. It's like,
Yeah.
dude, you should just win an award for just like attempting the fucking film.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
No, totally, and it's
yeah.
good that they actually have their own category now,
Yeah.
though, because it doesn't make sense going up against a live action.
I don't know, like
performance.
how I feel like I'm so tainted by these like the Disney like golden years or whatever, where
Right.
like Aladdin, Lion King, Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, all those films came
Yeah.
out. Like I feel like in my like I was so young at the time I saw them, they had such an impression that I
Yeah.
can't be objective.
But you know
it's
what?
like as an adult, I can't watch them and be like, this is not good.
Yeah,
Or,
I know
like,
what you mean. I do know
I
what
just
you mean.
can't.
Yeah.
I'm
But
like
you know
I've been
what, Neil?
brainwashed by Disney.
But you know
I'm
what,
like,
Neil?
I can't.
I can open your eyes,
Oh God.
That's true.
take you wonders by one.
I wonder. I'm thinking of just sitting here and letting him sing the entire song.
I'm just gonna let it go.
Sideways and under,
On a magic carpet ride.
a whole new world. Don't you dare close your eyes.
Snap into a Slim
I'm
Jim.
just gonna,
Mentos, the French maker. Old Spice. All right.
Well, we just ruined Disney, but
Yeah.
populating it with ads.
I was just gonna let that play out.
Yeah. I know. So
I
anyways,
could do Lion King.
Do it.
No, I'm
I
don't know what they think.
Spins.
I love that.
Oh my
I love that shit. I just like watching the beginning of Lion King sometimes, and I
It
turn
really,
off.
I know
I'm
what you
like,
mean.
I'm
Yeah,
done.
no.
Talking about that, man, I can't wait to see Lion Kings.
the live action?
not
I'm not
Kings,
gonna lie.
Kings.
I listened to Circle of Life on the way over here today.
Did you?
100%.
So good,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
It's so good.
I can't tell you how many times I've when
Wait, which
all
version?
those films
not
were
not the version at the end of the film. The version at the beginning of the
Not
film.
the yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
When all those
Not the
films
Elton
were
John. The Elton
were
John's,
coming out?
The end.
Yeah.
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 When all those films were coming out, I was working at like daycares. So think about how many times like we had to
playing
watch
over
them.
and over and
Dude,
over
how many
again.
times like I had to hear those films, and so
Yeah.
like I know all. I even freaking know Little
Yeah.
Mermaid, but we don't need. To
I
talk
just
about
bought my daughter the Toy Story 1 through 3 because she found Boss Baby recently. We don't watch a lot of TV. She doesn't watch a lot of TV, but we found Boss Baby on Netflix, and so
Yeah.
we watched it, and she's now watched it like 6 or 7 times, and she's like, "Boss Baby, watch Boss Baby." I'm like, "I'm not fucking watching Boss Baby another goddamn
Oh,
time."
dude,
So I
get
bought,
hooked, man.
so I bought the 3 Toy Stories. 'Cause I'm like, if we're gonna watch movies over and over, it's gonna be the goddamn Toy Story movies,
Yeah.
which she now loves. Now
We
she's like,
listen
Toy
to
Story?
Tom Hanks
Toy Story,
and
Toy Story.
Tim
Tim
Allen and Cliff from Cheers.
Yeah,
Wasn't there a
John
battle to
Ratzenberger.
do a number 4?
Yeah, they're doing a number 4. It's coming out next
They,
year.
they still are? Okay, great.
Yeah, it's coming out next
'Cause I know
year.
Incredibles
and
2 just
Incredibles
released
2,
their
yeah.
trailer.
Yeah, Incredibles 2 is coming out. Yeah. All right, so but back to the Oscars.
I rewatched Incredibles. It looks super dated.
Does it?
Like the
I saw
CG
it.
looks super dated now.
I think it's just a style. You haven't.
I
you
saw it the
haven't.
last couple years.
You just have an issue with CGI.
It looks super.
You do.
dated.
You have a
You
problem.
haven't. You have a
I
problem
can
with
see
CGI.
have an
out
issue.
points. That's the problem. I can see problems
All
with
right,
it that
so-
other people like just gloss over.
So let's go categories
Anyways,
and just talk about a little bit about the films.
I mean, yeah, I just think we should do Best Picture. Let's just go through some.
Well,
of
yeah,
those.
that's what I was going to start
What's
with.
the most shocking
Let's
thing
do the
this
Best
year?
Picture. Well, I mean, it's so we finally got Christopher
nom-
Nolan Best Director nomination after all those times he wasn't nominated for director.
I'm excited for The Shape of Water.
The Shape of Water, which I still have not seen. Yeah. Still haven't seen it.
I
don't know what
also have not seen it.
Roberto
I'm a
del
huge,
Toro.
Guillermo del
huge
Toro.
fan of
I
it.
know.
I watched God, what was that? Crimson
Christmas Peak.
Crimson Peak.
Yeah.
That was actually a really good movie.
Yeah,
I enjoyed that
Wasikowska.
movie. Like that's like
Tom Hiddleston,
like
I think.
I wasn't a huge fan of like the story and some of the performances. I didn't think were like. I mean, I didn't think they were bad. I just they didn't work with me. But like the style of the film,
Yeah.
I'm just like I don't even know how this guy does it. Like
Yeah.
I don't know how he makes films that look this way.
Yeah.
Because like no one else. I mean, Tim Burton maybe
Different.
comes close. It's a different style, but
Yeah.
he's like he has just this elaborate.
Guillermo?
He makes these like elaborate like
It's on YouTube. He talks about it.
it's like
how he was
artistic
influenced.
design. Yeah, like I kinda, in a weird way.
You should
I-
watch it. I'll send you the link.
You don't
There's-
want to see the behind the scenes?
No. In a weird way, I really wish that he had done the Hobbit films because I
yeah.
rewatched all 3 Hobbits recently, and I'm like, I'm really interested in what his like
Yeah.
look.
I
or
would have
take on the Hobbit
loved
would have
him to
been.
do the Hobbit like he did the third Harry Potter.
He
He didn't do the third.
That was
he
that was
didn't do any
Alfonso
of them.
Cuarón.
That was Alfonso Cuarón.
Oh, that was Alfonso.
Prisoner of Azkaban,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, Prisoner of Azkaban.
Yeah.
that's
no, he-
actually
he
my,
didn't do
thought it
any
was
of
him.
them. No.
Why
that's
would
my
I think-
favorite
Another Spanish
Potter
guy.
film.
Another Mexican.
Maybe that's not. What?
They're Mexican, I think. No. Guillermo del Toro's Mexican. Why is that a slur? I say Mexican and it's slur? He's Mexican. Oh my God. You guys are racist. You guys are so racist.
Why are you getting
How
so
can I be
upset,
racist?
dude?
so racist?
How can I be racist?
All I said was another Mexican. It's true. It's not a slur.
This is the thing.
Just move on.
What?
I mean, it's not like I said another white
Next,
when we're
get
talking about Stanley Kubrick
Get to the
and Christopher
podcast.
Nolan.
What
another
people
white
want
guy.
to say?
I'm just saying they're both Mexican, and you're the one that's
I
racist
know-
thinking they're the
how
same
am I
guy.
racist?
You
Are
told me
they-
the same
Are they
guy.
actually both Mexican?
Well, Guillermo del
Latin.
Toro is definitely Mexican, but I think Alfonso
So-
Cuarón is as well. Look him up. I think he's,
I don't know.
We need
He's
to research
Mexican.
this.
He could be like.
I think he's Mexican.
Could be. I don't know.
I think
mean,
he's-
we can verify it if
Can
you
we
want.
look up if this guy's Mexican? Because if
Just
he's
so you
not,
feel
then
good.
I
I
feel
wanna
like I'm
make fun-
racist. But because I know Guillermo del Toro is
You know, I'm
absolutely
Mexican.
Mexican. You're everything, dude. You're a bit of everything.
Here we go. Like, this is going to be hilarious.
I've got no protection talking about race.
You don't.
I really don't.
Yeah, Mexican film director.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're both Mexican. So I was right. You guys are the
Still.
both.
It's just how
You're
you-
racist. You're
I don't
both
know what
racist.
else. No, it's
Sounded
not that we're
bad, that's
racist.
all.
It's
Why
just
did
the
it
fact
sound bad? Your ears.
It's
Dude,
just-
you can't call him. You just can't say this
that
Jew.
sentence is just that sentence is very like
Yeah, that would be like-
lined.
Hey, wait, is George Lucas Jewish?
I don't know. Steven
right.
Spielberg is.
Do you
I know
think-
Spielberg.
oh,
is
you
not-
say these-
I was gonna say
he's
like
the
yeah. If
other
I was
Jew.
talking about these guys,
But if
and
you
I'd
were
be like,
Jewish-
oh, these
I'll push-
Jews.
But if you were Jewish, you
Yeah.
could say that. And
See,
it would be like, but if I say it, it's sort of like, but where are you coming from with that? Is there like vitriol behind that? Are you trying to like
See, the thing is, you just pulled the line like
It's like
from
Louis
the movie
C.K.
Get
says,
Out.
the same-
Certain people should say certain things.
It's like Louis
Yeah.
C.K. said. He's like you could say Jew in two different ways. It's the only one where it's like the slur plus the appropriate title for those people. So it's like Jew with the slur, it's just with a little more stank put on it. And Jew,
true.
it's like ugh.
I feel like maybe it just sounded a little stanky coming out of your
Yeah.
mouth when you said Mexican.
I just said he's the other Mexican because he thought they were the same people.
He's just the other Mexican.
Oh, here we go.
It's just getting. We're gonna save you right now, Nick.
right.
So let's
You know,
talk about
Brad
since we're
Pitt's
talking about this.
Mexican.
Let's talk about
He was
Get
in
Out.
that movie called The Mexican.
Get
Louis
Out.
C.K. is Mexican, by the
Yeah.
way.
He is, yeah.
Get Out
Like,
is also
literally,
nominated.
Yeah.
I know that was actually super surprising.
It's a really good movie. It really is. I rewatched it for the third time. I actually don't watch a lot of newer movies multiple times, but that movie I've now seen 3 times since
Yeah.
it came
But
out.
sorry, all right. So
Yeah,
I'm
let's talk about it.
conflicted because like I feel like the Oscars has like programmed me to perceive that a certain style of film and a certain quality of acting. And even the quality of acting doesn't particularly I have to think it's good, but it has to be like a certain style.
Yeah.
So I've been like programmed for my entire life to think that certain films should be nominated.
Yep.
And horror films is not one of them.
It's not a normal horror film,
And
though.
it is
it's
in many ways a horror film. It's like more of like a
more
horror
drama
thriller.
than it is
It's
anything.
more of a Hitchcock type of deal.
It's a
little
bit. It's a bit
yeah.
genre
But even
bending.
Hitchcock didn't get a ton of nominations.
It's
Like,
a bit of
his films,
everything.
like, still-
It's a bit of everything though, because it's got horror in it. It's got drama. It's mainly drama, and there's a lot of the comedy.
I don't know,
is
dude. The
very-
last like 20 minutes of that movie are like all horror.
It's not jump scary though at all. It's not even that
It's
gory.
tension.
There's a lot of tension where you're like,
You only see. We saw it in theaters together. Is that the only time you've seen it?
No, I've rewatched
We
it.
saw it
like,
in theaters together, right?
no, I didn't go with you.
Oh, okay, that was the other half black guy I know. Okay, now that's,
Oh my-
that's
I
more
didn't go.
racist. You weren't with me?
No. Yeah,
Was it the other Mexican that I watched it with? I don't know.
I don't
Why-
know.
what
Apparently,
is wrong
there's
with
like
you?
another Neil running around.
No, maybe it was just me and Kelly went or something like that. I just know that I thought it was like a group of us or whatever. But
Oh,
either way,
no,
I saw
I
it in
wasn't there.
theaters.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you
I
call
saw it
like
in theaters.
1-800 Rent a Latin? Like
My
you
point is
I,
that-
I have called that.
But my point is that I feel in many ways like, okay, so what happened 2 years ago with the Oscars when they were accused of whitewashing and all of that? I feel like there's like this propitiation going on a little bit with the Oscars where, and I'm not saying that Get Out is a bad film or it shouldn't have been nominated,
Yeah.
but like even Jordan Peele, like when he was being interviewed was just like, I can't believe a movie got nominated
Yeah.
for an
No,
Oscar.
I don't
like
think he meant that in a
seemed-
negative way. I think
I'm not in a
he had
negative
more
way,
of a
but he
problem
was
with it
like,
being nominated for Best Comedy or Musical at the Golden Globes, which is very weird. That's what the category got put into. Best Comedy
in a
or
weird.
Musical.
It is humorous, but I would not consider it a comedy.
I know, but that's the thing. It's got a lot of
It,
humor
it
that
has
makes it seem
surprising humor.
It
yeah.
does, and it really like makes the film feel different. That I
I just feel like
see it in,
I feel like that. Like a part of me is like, is this a real nomination? Or are they nominating it because he's like, it was directed by Jordan Peele and
it's pro-black, like it's
Yeah,
like
there's
that-
like some weird propitiation
that-
thing going on,
that
so people
commentary
can't
on racism
accuse
in America.
But
the
if you look
Oscars
at the
of being
film,
racist.
it's very artistic.
That's how I feel.
Because they
I'm
had
like-
the Oscars so
It's
white.
very artistic.
Yeah, that's-
If you look at the film,
I
it's
hear what you're
very
saying.
artistic, and it's
don't-
really how they told the whole story.
It actually
it's
very is
unique.
a lot better
I don't
than
think the
you're
way
giving
the
it credit
film is
for.
shot is like all that significant. There's a couple cool
No,
scenes I think in the
no.
film, but like overall, I feel like it's very blandly shot.
Oh, I don't
That
think
was-
that's
it's
true
not-
at all.
it's not even about-
No. I've seen, like I said, I've seen it 3 times. Last time I saw it was 2 weeks ago. When was the last time you saw it, and did you only see it once?
No, I've seen it multiple times. The last time I saw it, I don't know, maybe a few months ago.
Okay, I would just say, given that you think that, and now you're like, why is it nominated for an Oscar? And listening to what
It
we're
just
saying,
seemed weird. It
I think
seemed
you should
weird.
rewatch it. The visuals in that film, there are a lot of visuals in that film that which are pretty stunning. That are like, oh wow, or they were really like, it's a really well thought out visual movie. But at the same time, there's a lot of nuances, little things woven throughout that film that add to the overall narrative and offsetting feeling. And there's a lot of those things. I
It's a
only saw
very
that.
edgy film that's done.
I
right.
only really caught most of those in multiple viewings where I'd be
yeah.
like, oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's interesting, and because I knew where it was leading up to, I could see how it all tied in. I think it's a really well crafted movie.
I don't think.
Yeah.
I think it's really well
I understand
crafted,
what you're
really
saying
well
about
written,
the visuals.
well shot, and well acted.
I don't think
Like,
the
even
visuals has done anything.
Yeah,
it's anything.
Georgina, the maid
Who?
girl, Georgina.
Yeah.
she's excellent in that movie. She's excellent, and I really believe that she probably could have received an Oscar nomination, even though she had like very small roles. Like her scenes in that movie.
A lot of the people in that film
scene
could have
where
been
she's
nominated.
like, she's like, you could see that duality, that struggle between like where she's smiling but she's crying at the same time. She's, no,
But to me, those are
no,
all
no, no,
those
no,
type
no,
of
no, no, no.
performances are all very much like horror tropes. It's in like bad horror movies have performances that good.
I
But
don't
see,
think
there
it's-
you
I've
see.
seen
That's
that like
the thing,
all-
though.
but you don't like horror movies. Like you don't watch Dude, I've watched 1,000 times more
Just
horror
because you're
movies
a
than
fucking
you have.
That's-
masochist doesn't mean I don't like horror movies.
But it's not
I'm
even
just
about
saying,
that.
like, to
It's
me,
just
I watch
using
this
the
movie
elements.
and I'm like, oh,
It's
just
using
like
the
a
elements
standard
right.
horror movie.
That's the
with
whole
a
thing.
twist.
Is that they used the elements correctly.
Yeah.
It's a very edgy movie. They took a topic that is very like. You
And that's
can
part
take
of
it
his
to a
problem
sort
is he's
point.
saying that, like,
But
is that
here's
what
the
it's-
thing. They did it right. It's,
It's a-
I don't
it's-
think I agree with you with the visuals. I don't think the visuals were anything astonishing.
But they were good, though.
They were no, they were.
It was
they were
well
good.
shot.
No,
It was
I'm
not
saying
bland.
bad.
like-
I just didn't think
there
it
are
was
bland
like.
shot movies where you're just like, wow, the visuals added nothing. Like a lot of comedies do that. A lot of like diarrheaed out comedies these days do that, where you can tell they just literally just were like, we're not. It's not about the visuals. That's secondary or like all the way down to the bottom. Like who gives a shit? And it's bland editing, bland. This movie was not like that. If
That's
you
the whole thing.
rewatch
It's not
it,
just
you'll
about-
see the visuals were a lot more well
I'm
thought out.
not saying I didn't
crafted.
like the movie. I think it's a bad movie, or the performances weren't good, or the story was bad. I liked the movie a lot, actually. I was very I did not predict how that movie was going to end,
Yeah.
or what the
You feel like it's a black
MacGuffin of the
push.
film was.
You feel like it's a black push. It's you're
I mean,
pushing
I just
because
like
the
when I
movie-
saw that it was nominated, I was like, oh, that's really cool, and then I was like, fucking Oscars,
You were so
man.
cynical.
I am very
Yeah.
cynical because we live in a cynical world, Nick.
Jerry Maguire.
I think that movie had a lot of
Jerry
elements
Maguire.
that
That is
worked
Jerry Maguire.
perfectly together to be nominated.
Yeah,
I, think it
I
should have
just
been
thought
I'm
Get
glad.
Out.
I guess I'm glad. Like, part of me is glad it got nominated. I just hope it wasn't for
Other reasons. I
And
bet
I'll
you-
never know. I'll never know.
Honestly, it probably had something to do with it because, like we've already discussed, the Oscars are influenced by outside factors. So I'm sure that had a part of it, but I don't think it was unjustly nominated. I think it was deserved.
Yeah.
I think Get Out, for me, on a personal level, I really thought that movie was well done from beginning to end. I think it was crafted beautifully.
Yeah.
That
I
is
don't think
I think Allison Williams was actually excellent in that movie. As
Who
the
did she
girlfriend?
play?
The girlfriend.
I actually thought that Daniel
Kaluuya?
Kaluuya? I
Yeah.
thought he was like I'd seen him in many films before that, like he was in
Yeah.
Sicario and a bunch
Black
of other
Mirror.
films.
He was in a Black Mirror episode.
and Black Mirror. Yeah, I always thought he was like
He was excellent.
a fantastic actor.
Yeah.
And in this film, I think he's like he was great.
He was great. And he was
really, really
nominated.
good.
He's nominated for
Yeah,
Best
yeah,
Actor.
I know. That's
You know
why,
what movie
like,
I
to
don't
me,
think
that's
should have
more
been
justified, I
nominated?
think, than
Even
the
Jordan
film
Peele was
itself.
nominated for director. Too.
You know, a movie
Yeah.
I don't think it should have been The Post.
Did you see it?
I saw.
You haven't seen it.
No.
You just said that.
No.
I saw the movie.
I don't think all of these films I haven't
so
seen should
I
be
talked to a
nominated.
lot of people
Yeah.
that have seen the movie,
Yeah.
and I asked them. I was like, because I kept hearing like people say it was just very monotone. The film was just
Yeah.
very monotone. I feel like that probably got in
That
there
is a political
because
nomination, and I agree.
think that is because
What is
of
it
Tom
about?
Hanks.
It's basically a commentary on. Well, it's a real story about the Washington Post, basically. It's before the Watergate scandal, but
Yeah.
it was basically finding out that there was certain papers and various other things that show that the Vietnam War, like how fucked up it was and everything like that. It was being hidden by the government, and Nixon's in it, and they used real Nixon recordings for the scenes with Nixon. Where you
That's
can
what
hear
I
him over the
watched,
phone,
yeah.
the real phone recordings and everything. And it's Tom Hanks is the editor in chief of the Washington Post, and Meryl Streep is the owner of the Washington Post. And it's basically this whole interesting like thing about how they were like a fledgling newspaper, and they were kind of like on the way out almost, and there was all these bigger ones that were breaking these stories, and they basically had a story that came to them, and they were afraid. Really, there was like a fear of like, let's not release this shit because the U.S.
Yeah.
government has told us we're not allowed to release this, and then basically having to go up against the government and Nixon and all these guys saying you're basically violating the law. They had a whole judge fucking like thing. Whatever they call that, not a ban, but a thing basically saying an injunction or whatever.
Yeah.
They were not allowed to fucking release this shit, and whether or
Yeah.
not they were going to really do this, and they had the source, and they had all this crazy shit, and it was going to basically reveal the fuck upness of the Vietnam War
Yeah.
and what was really going on, and the whole conspiracy
Yeah.
of the whole thing. It's really it's a good film. It honestly is good. Spielberg directed it. Tom Hanks, Meryl Streep, great actors.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of it has to do with the whole Trump thing that's going on, and his whole like against the press, and this whole like sort of like
We live in such a
battle
odd
against
world,
the
like-
press, and it's a commentary
But-
on that in a way.
Look at Hollywood and how I feel like they're just so out of touch. Like you watch a film like Dunkirk or even this film where they're referencing the Vietnam War, and it's like those wars pale in compare World War II
Yeah.
and this, like they kind of pale in comparison to the atrocities that are occurring right now
Yeah.
in Africa and the Middle East, and
Right.
it's like we don't even really talk about that shit. Like literally millions of
There's been a
people
lot of
die
films in the
every
Middle
year.
East.
Yeah.
But I'm like, it's so weird that we like keep going back to these wars like 30, 40, 50, 70 years ago and talk about them like look how awful this was. And yet the world isn't any better now.
Yeah.
It's anyway, it's
I think
just
a lot
such
of-
a
well, that's the whole-
disconnect. I'm like, I don't know what we're doing.
That is actually why the Post garnered so much attention, was because it felt like it was a commentary on today. It was
Yeah.
50 years old, but it felt like it was today in terms of the stuff that's going on. And actually, Spielberg picked it up, and he directed this movie, and they pushed this movie out fucking fast. I think it was done in like 11 months or something like that, from like script to
crazy,
completed
yeah.
film being released. Like,
I wonder how much
And he
those
did
films
it.
actually have an impact though on like people in DC.
I don't know. I have no idea.
You know,
I
like,
have no
like
idea.
what's
But
his name?
Spielberg,
Oliver Stone made W,
Yep.
like right to come out
While
you
he was
know,
in
while-
office still,
Yeah,
which is crazy.
while George W. Bush was in office, and I'm like, what do you think's going to happen? Like, what do you hope to
it's
achieve?
more for the general public to like inform
What is
them
the
of something,
general
but-
public going to do? They're very unreliable.
Oh yeah, fuck
So I
everybody.
went- so
no, but what I'm saying
I wanted
is
to go watch
Spielberg
it.
always does these political type films. He's done, I mean, I'm gonna say Schindler's List is
Lincoln.
political Lincoln, but he's always kind of done these things that he felt were important to him.
It's like Clint
and he
Eastwood.
does those films. And
He
now
always
the
does
Post is
human
no
hero films.
the Post is a good film. It is a good movie. Is it Oscar worthy?
it's Meryl Streep.
Is it- Meryl Streep.
She
got
always
nominated.
gets
She got
nominated.
She got
That's how I feel.
She got
I mean,
nominated
look
for
at the
Into
stars
Woods.
in it.
Yeah.
Come on.
She
Look at the
gets
names in
nominated
it.
for
Steven Spielberg,
everything.
Meryl Streep,
Yeah.
Tom Hanks. I mean,
It does. I don't think it's going to win any awards. And I don't think anybody expects it to, but it was given the obligatory nomination.
The Academy loves Meryl Streep. Whatever she
know.
touches gets nominated.
That's right.
Let's be real.
I do think
That's
that
right.
she's a very unique actress.
She's
that
great.
Just,
She's
Oh,
great.
she's awesome.
It just
She
she
is
just
great.
grabs you,
Yeah.
and I think
She doesn't seem
Yeah.
like she wants to win anymore. Like you
Yeah.
can tell she's always like cheering on the other people. She's just like, fuck it, I've got enough. Like she wants other people to win. But The Post is not any sort of like phenomenon in terms of like directing or editing or anything like that. But it is a good film and it does its job. And
Yeah.
it's a very interesting story. It's about one specific story at that time period. And it's fascinating.
Yeah.
It is a really
Yeah.
good movie, but I don't know that it's an Oscar quote unquote movie. Get Out is unique and took, did things that I hadn't seen. The Post, not necessarily. Post is just a good story.
Lady Bird. I heard a lot of good
Yeah,
things about
Yeah,
I've
so
also
have I. Have not
read a lot
seen
of positive
Lady
things.
Bird.
I haven't. Yeah.
I really want to see that.
It's
Lady Bird
unfortunate. A
and
lot of
Three
these movies
Billboards,
I
two
actually
movies.
have yet to see. Some
Yeah.
of them I never even heard of
Yeah.
until
Three
I saw the
Billboards.
nominations.
Yeah.
3 Billboards. I never even
Three
heard of.
Billboards and Lady Bird.
I'm
I haven't
like-
seen either one of those, and I need to see them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always like Sam Rockwell as an actor.
He's
I mean,
great.
Woody Harrelson being nominated for an Oscar, Best
Yep.
Supporting Actor. I think that's great. Woody Harrelson's been in some incredible
He's an
roles.
incredible actor.
Dunkirk.
yeah.
I think Dunkirk definitely deserved that. Dunkirk is a great film. Dunkirk takes this World War II, a lot of World War II films have been done, and now Christopher Nolan got to do his own,
Yeah.
and it's done from the British side of it, the whole story of Dunkirk, where they were stuck on the beach. It's really well done, and they take a very interesting editing approach to the movie.
Damn.
The way in
It's
which
a
it
music
lays out,
video.
you don't even you have to like watch it to go, oh, wait a minute. This is the timeline. The way they're doing this is very unique, and
Yeah.
I liked the approach they took to it, and it's very visceral. It feels,
I was
when you're in
going
the
to say-
cockpit
yeah.
with the planes, and I saw it in IMAX, but the sounds they use, and like it's not Hollywood gun shooting. It literally is like the real way in which the
he
cockpit
probably had-
shakes,
yeah.
and the way in which the shots are going off, that like small gun
Yeah.
fucking firing.
They probably
thing.
went out and found some old planes
Yeah.
and then fired
Oh,
some
yeah.
blanks at them or something.
And,
like,
and that's
recorded
done
the sound.
throughout the film.
I gotta
It's
admit
it's that,
that-
that hits you in the chest kind of shit, and it's
You gotta
done
play more
really
video
well.
games
Yeah.
because they do that for video games.
Nobody
I
cares
don't-
about video games. Nobody plays video games.
I didn't think
You're fucking
Dunkirk,
82 years old. Why are you still playing video games?
I didn't think Dunkirk should have been
future.
in there at first. I really didn't think so because I was like, oh, there's not really a story
That's.
to it. Hold on, Nick.
I'm letting
Hold
you
on,
go. I'm actually trying to be a
Did
better
you hear?
person. I'm
Did you
turning a new
did you
leaf.
hear my beginning at first?
Yes, that's why I
At
didn't
first,
jump
yeah.
on you immediately.
So, but then when
I didn't fucking lunge for your goddamn throat and rip it out of your.
but then when I watched it, I saw some things. I was like, I need to rewatch this for a second and see it.
Yeah.
And really see what's going on. And I do agree how they told the storylines.
Yeah.
Where you're in one segment of the story, but you're seeing something that happened prior or.
But now it's happening again from a different
but it's
viewpoint.
but it's not even
really
it's,
interesting.
it's in the fucking like background when it's really not supposed to even grab your attention type of deal.
Yeah.
But how he placed things to tell the story that way.
And he didn't just lay,
It was visual-
spoon feed it to you either.
Yeah,
It's sort of like
it's
you have to think.
Exactly. You have to really think. You're like, wait, that was the plane. It was visually told perfectly.
Yeah, I don't even think there's any dialogue for the first like 15 or 20
There's
minutes
not a
of the
lot
movie.
of I think. Oh my gosh! Like you could probably put all the dialogue.
And
in
Tom
one
Hardy
hand,
does
yeah.
a lot of the acting with his eyes again, similar to how he did Bane.
Yeah.
Because he's in the cockpit the whole time in the plane. He's got the thing over his face, and
Yeah.
and Neil, you haven't actually seen Dunkirk yet, right?
I have not seen it.
Honestly, God, do it.
I
but
was
make sure you watch
confused
it in
with
the right
the
setting.
reason why is because I felt
John
like it was-
Williams was nominated.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, I was
Or
confused
The
about
Last
it because it was
Jedi.
not the last.
Holy shit!
Oh,
really?
Yeah, he was nominated. Yeah, best original score.
Because
Crazy.
it was to me it was I don't know, I couldn't grasp it as a film to be the best picture of the year because it was like almost a music video, like a very
Dunkirk?
classical. Yeah, it was visually it was an art piece being drawn like throughout the film because there
Well, I
wasn't a
haven't
lot
seen
of
the
line.
movie,
It
but
wasn't
it-
about the story. It was about a visual experience through these people's
Right,
lives.
right.
And but then when I saw how they told the story through the visual experience, then I was like, wow, this
But
is
does it
very
focus on like
technical.
one
No.
character?
No, that's what's kind of cool about
Does it
it.
focus on like 10 characters?
Multiple
Or is it
characters.
just focusing on the
Multiple
event?
characters.
Here's what it is. It's split up between land, sea, and air. Okay, and there's individuals within each one of those realms, like the infantry guys,
But
on
is it
foot,
like
the people in the
is
planes.
Is the character like the battle?
When you watch that movie, it's the men. It's the guys who are stranded, the kids stranded, like trying. There's the heroes coming in try to save them. There's the civilians coming in with the boats trying to save these young kids, and there's kids on the beach, and they basically are like, you have to fucking survive. It's this survival mode that everybody's in, but it's like a despair at the same time because they're just fucking like sitting ducks.
Right.
Because you
They're
have
all
these.
stranded on this beach. They can't go back. They can't go forward, and they're only a few miles from home, and they're fucking like sitting ducks. And then there's the planes coming in trying to save them. There's the civilians on the boats coming in trying to save them, and there's the kids just there just trying to survive until they can get home.
Yeah.
And it's there are individual stories like within that and characters within that. Like Tom
That's
Hardy.
a long movie, though, right?
It's over 2 hours. I think slightly over 2 hours. It's not
Yeah.
crazy long. It's
Oh,
really
I
not.
thought it was like
No,
almost
no,
3
no.
hours
It's
or
like
something.
an hour and a half or something like that. Hour and 45 minutes. It's not that long.
It might
at
be an
all.
hour. It's definitely not an hour and a half, but it's not an extremely long film actually. But it really is well done.
If you really think about it, it's basically the story where these soldiers are trying to get
Hour
home.
46, yeah.
And then you
Oh,
have
wow, okay.
like the people from home come, like people that aren't trained. You have these soldiers who are trained to battle, and they are scared. They're trying to get
They're
out.
kids, dude. They're all like 18.
they're all
Most
kids.
of them.
Yeah. And then you have these people from home that want to come and save them, and just all these interaction, what happens within land, and the soldiers trying to get out, trying to get to the sea,
And
so
the
they can get
timeline's all
home.
different based off of where you're watching it from. If you're in
Exactly,
the air,
yeah.
it's a different timeline than the land and
So
then
it's
the
like
sea.
Yeah.
World War II Inception.
Different.
No,
I get what you're saying.
it's
I get what
even
you're saying.
more.
Totally
It's
different,
even
though.
more
Nothing
technical
like
than that because it's
Okay.
like 2-3 scenes later, you'll see something that happened 2-3 scenes.
But it doesn't
before in the
tell you.
background.
It doesn't tell you.
Yeah,
You
it
need to
doesn't
pay
tell you.
attention. You need to think.
Yeah.
It's not like just like you got to go. Wait. Oh, that's the fucking thing that we were in watching it from this viewpoint, and
Yeah.
now we're seeing it from this viewpoint,
Yeah.
but it's happening at a different point in the film.
Yeah.
It's really cool, and they don't call land. They call it the mole.
The mole, yeah.
Anyway, it's just I thought the fucking film was great.
Yeah.
And the crowd shots they got, like what you could see in the preview where the plane's coming over and you see all the people, the kids kind of look back. They're on that big pier or whatever, and then they look
Yeah.
back, and then like this is frightened look that washes over them in like sequence. That is really good crowd work. That's not easy to do in a film. They execute.
Oh, wasn't CG teenagers?
No. That's what's great about Christopher Nolan. I didn't notice one CG element in this entire film, and that's what I love about him is he doesn't rely on CG unless he absolutely has to. He tries to do as much. Same thing as Inception. Inception, that whole fucking zero gravity's flipping room thing was actually one big barrel, and they were on wire work and shit like that. This movie, I didn't notice one CG element in the whole movie.
Yeah.
So it felt. Whereas I love what's that movie? Saving Private Ryan. Even
Yeah.
back then, I could notice a couple things like this. I noticed even less. Yeah. And again, it's a PG-13 film. It's a war film that's PG-13. Very different.
Yeah.
Like
It's not
Wind
focusing on
Talkers. I think that's PG-13.
I don't know. That
Nicolas
one.
Cage.
Yeah.
Where the Navajo Indians like fought in World
Yeah.
War II. Fought. Yeah.
I didn't see it.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
They used, you know why they brought the Navajo Indians into World War II? Because their language, the Germans couldn't decipher their language, so they could send coded messages back and forth, and like no one could understand that the Europeans couldn't understand
shit.
or Japanese
That's
understand what the hell
awesome.
they were saying.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I never heard of that.
But then they all get dead.
Yeah. Hell, they did. And then, Call Me By Your Name, none of us saw. We talked about it a little bit. And then Darkest Hour, I don't think any of us have seen either.
No.
Gary
But I'm
Oldman
excited,
as Winston Churchill.
He's only been
looks-
nominated one time before,
Yeah.
which is nuts to me.
Yeah.
But people are hopeful that
Yeah,
could
he won the Golden
potentially
Globe
win this.
for it.
Yeah.
And what they did to make that film happen is just it should be nominated.
Yeah.
And that's
He
like
doesn't
the other
even
story.
look like Gary Oldman.
No,
too, when
he
you
looks like
see the
Winston Churchill.
prosthetics. Yeah.
It looks awesome.
It was great.
I
Hey.
kind of want to see this Daniel Day-Lewis movie now that I found out it's his last movie, the Phantom Thread.
Oh yeah.
Like the trailer.
That I don't know why I haven't seen that yet, but I want to see the Phantom Thread. Absolutely, Daniel Day-Lewis last movie.
Like Daniel Day-Lewis could be literally anything, anybody. He could be like a movie where he's
Yeah.
like pretending to be a farm animal, and
Yeah.
I'd be like, I'm gonna watch that movie.
Yes,
like,
absolutely.
He's that kind. Like he's so intense in his performance that I'm like, I just have to watch whatever he does.
Honestly, he's one of the best actors.
And he's been nominated, yeah.
Yeah, he's been nominated again. And Paul Thomas Anderson directed that, who's did There Will Be Blood, Boogie Nights,
Yeah.
etc.
Yeah.
Anyways,
and I
yeah.
do want to see Lady Bird too.
Yes, Lady
Yeah.
Bird, Greta Gerwig.
I actually
You
like Greta Gerwig as
yeah.
an actress. Like I've seen
Yeah.
her in a bunch of
It's
indie movies.
Saoirse Ronan, I actually like
Yeah.
her too.
Yeah,
The main
she's
girl.
great too. Yeah. I can never pronounce her name.
Saoirse Ronan.
Saoirse.
Ronan.
Cersei Ronan.
Cersei
Ronan.
Cersei.
Yeah, it's hard to fucking pronounce. I don't know.
I always like Sarah.
Beautiful Irish accent. Saoirse Ronan.
Yeah, she does have a cool accent.
I love her accent. Yeah. All right. Well, I think
So-
we're pretty much running out of time here, right?
Yeah, we're done.
so-
I'm done.
so we gotta
Bye.
wrap
See
it
ya.
up.
Bye, guys.
Yeah.
See-
Bye bye.
Oh,
Bye bye.
no.
Oh wait, no, we should
No.
play the wrap it up.
Oh yeah. Well, one year when Seth MacFarlane hosted, they did the Jaws music was the wrap up music. Dude. People were like, "Fuck you!" Like people hate that fucking walk off music. It's like, what are they supposed to
Well,
do? They
what's
have a
weird?
time.
It's very political because some of the actors come up or directors or whatever come up and then they get like
Different
they
time.
get like 3 minutes to
know.
run their mouth
Yeah.
and then some other guy wins like an Oscar and then he's literally like 15 seconds
Well,
after
you're not
he's
gonna-
up there.
you're not
they're
gonna-
like playing the music and I'm like that's so fucked up, man.
Yeah, you're not gonna
They did it at the
play the
Golden
wrap
Globes,
up
too.
music to Meryl Streep though. You know, they're not gonna walk her off.
So
Fuck that.
how,
She's already got like 10.
So-
She's like Tom Brady. Get her the hell out of here. Like we're done.
just
We're
to
done
close
with
it
her.
out.
Wow.
Just to close it out. Are you guys really excited about the Oscars this year?
I'm not really excited, but I'm gonna watch them.
You're
And,
gonna watch it.
and
I'm gonna
I always watch the Oscars. I enjoy the Oscars. Yeah.
Do
so
you
I'm
watch the
gonna
Oscars
them.
every year?
Not every year.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I make a thing.
I
of it.
honestly, I would be
I haven't been
The-
excited since the Lord
when
of
it
the
started
Rings,
getting-
so that was what.
when all that
Long
political
time
shit
ago.
started
Justin
happening.
Moore?
Yeah, when all that political stuff started happening, I don't think it should be involved in things that I love.
Yeah.
In my
Yeah.
So
I go to
kinda
movies
stepped
for
out of
escape,
it,
and
so-
when all this other
It's the
stuff,
world we
it's
live in now,
sad.
man.
I know.
Yeah.
So
So-
everything has become political now.
yeah.
You have to like watch
Yeah.
where you step, watch what
know.
you say,
And I get it to a degree,
watch
but
who
I
you
can't.
are.
Yeah.
Watch who you are, man.
Yeah.
Watch
Yeah.
watch how you were born.
I know.
So-
Don't
And
be
I'm
born
all
a
about-
certain way. 'cause
Yeah.
you
I'm
might
all
be
about
wrong.
accountability, but there's a certain element
Don't
of that I
mock
go, fuck.
Mexicans and all
Yeah,
that shit.
man,
You
what's
know?
that?
What the
All
fuck?
right now.
Yeah, so-
all right.
Jeez.
All
But
right.
no, so
Navajo
Indians.
Indians.
Good luck to all the nominees. I hope
I'm sure they're listening.
I'm sure
I'm
they're
part Native
listening.
American.
Yeah,
I know you part everything. You're a goddamn mutt.
That's true.
Oh my
Being a
God.
mutt is the best.
All right.
Good luck to all the nominees. May the best man or woman win.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like, I hope it's like a shocking Oscars.
That'd be great.
I hope
Like
it
last
is.
year,
The last thing you
I was
expect to
watching
win
live
wins.
when
It
that
would be
shit went
nuts.
down with the Moonlight La La Land fucking thing. That was
Oh,
like,
I actually left. I think I was.
We
We
were
were
wa- yeah,
watching
you
it
were-
together,
that's right.
and then I was like, "All right, man, I'm out. This has been going on
missed
for like
it.
4
I know.
hours." And then I literally
my wife
left.
went to
right?
bed, and
I was
I-
like, "When is the best picture gonna happen?" Never happened. It was like midnight. I was like, "Fuck this, I'm out." So I left, and then you like texted
like,
me the
dude.
next morning, and it was like everyone like 3 people texted me like, "Do you know having Oscars is crazy?" And I just like went to sleep. I was like, "No,
you
what
missed that
happened?"
shit. I watched that shit live, and I literally saw the fucking sound guy or the stage manager guy walking around behind them, whispering, looking for the card, and I'm like, oh shit! And Emma Stone's face like in shock, and Ryan Gosling got it with his little smirk
I
on
love
his
that was
face.
Warren Beatty.
Warren Beatty, and I'm like, oh fuck, did they not win?
Warren Beatty just said
And,
like,
then the producer
just
who's in the middle of his
jumped to
speech goes,
conclusions.
we didn't win, by the way. And I was like, oh shit. That was crazy. I could not get enough of that news cycle for like the next 3 days.
Oh, wow. That's
Anyways.
amazing.
All
I
right, hopefully-
hope that happens this year.
I hope I hope nothing harmful happens, but I hope something amazing and shocking happens. Like another
Who's
streaker.
hosting?
You know what's going to happen
Jimmy
this
Kimmel.
year?
Again,
So
second
I'm-
year in a row. Jimmy
Oh,
Kimmel.
that guy.
He was
All
great
right.
last year. No, he was great. Great host.
You know what's going to happen
Sorry, he's
this,
gonna be talking
this
about
year?
Matt
He's a
Damon
liberal.
all the
It's
time.
amazing.
He's gonna be talking about Matt Damon. It's
He's
all he
gonna
ever
do-
talks about. Is
This
Matt
is what's
Damon.
going to happen this year.
all
Like,
right.
and the
You
winner
know what I'm talking about.
for the best picture of the year is Get Out.
Get out. Oh, because Get Out. Oh, that's good. That's good. That's good. I hope they do that. Get the
And then the Get Out guys are gonna start coming up and they're like, no. I mean,
No, I mean,
it
get
was
out, get
really
out of
this
here.
other movie.
It's an exclamation.
yeah. yeah.
Out of here. All right.
All right,
That
everyone.
joke is probably gonna play out through the entire.
I hope they do it.
All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us at Get to the Podcast. That's Get to the Podcast with the number 2. I'm Tiago D'Souza.
I'm Nick Gambino.
And I'm Neil Carson.
Get out of here.
Get out.
Get out of here.
Go Dunkirk yourself.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.